Zavar lowered his weapon, his face a mix of confusion and revelation. Without another word, he and his guards retreated to their ship. As the vessel disappeared into the night, Eris turned to David, astonished. "You didn't just stop a war," she said. "You changed the way they see us." David shrugged, scooping up his child, all in a day's work. But as he carried the little one inside, a glint in the sky hinted that the universe hadn't heard the last of him. As the night settled back into silence, Eris lingered outside, staring at the spot where the Zilneri ship had vanished. She couldn't shake the gravity of what had just happened. Humanity's strength, it seemed, wasn't in their weapons or technology. It was in something far simpler, yet far more profound. Their ability to connect, to lead with both heart and conviction, was a force no species had fully understood until now. Inside, David tucked his youngest into bed, pausing to adjust the bear under the child's arm. He didn't think of himself as extraordinary. He was just doing what any parent would do. Eris watched from the doorway, a small smile playing on her lips. As she prepared to leave, she glanced at David one last time. "You might have just saved more than Earth tonight," she said. David shrugged, smiling. "It's what dads do." The stars twinkled above, brighter than ever. Meanwhile, aboard the Zilneri flagship, Commander Zavar wrestled with a growing unease. His retreat had shaken his crew. What force could provoke fear in a species filled for conquest? Eris stared at the growing data on her console. The pattern was undeniable. Wherever human fathers issued warnings, alien forces backed down. It didn't matter if they were the most advanced civilizations or primitive marauders. Something about that commanding tone froze them in their tracks. She needed more than theories. She needed to meet David Carson. On Earth, David wasn't aware of the cosmic ripples he'd caused. His days were spent tinkering in his garage and herding his 3 rowdy kids away from trouble. When Eris finally arrived, blending in as best as she could, she watched in awe as he effortlessly quelled a chaotic dinner scene with a single glance. "Sit down and eat," he said. The kids obeyed without question. It wasn't anger, it was something deeper. A quiet authority rooted in unshakable conviction. But far above, Commander Zavar wasn't retreating this time. He was preparing to test this human anomaly at any cost. David's peaceful evening was interrupted by a low hum that rattled the windows. Stepping outside, he squinted at the night sky. A sleek, unearthly ship hovered above his neighborhood, its silhouette blocking out the stars. Eris, already on edge, ran to his side. "They're here," she said, her voice tight. "The Zilneri won't back down this time." Before David could respond, a beam of light engulfed the front yard, and Commander Zavar appeared, flanked by armed guards. The alien's imposing form radiated hostility. "Human," Zavar growled, his voice echoing, "we demand to know the source of your power." David's kids peeked nervously from the doorway, but he remained calm, his hands slipping into his pockets. "Power?" he asked, raising an eyebrow. "I'm just a dad trying to have dinner." Zavar stepped closer, his frustration palpable. "Enough games. What force makes me hesitate. Speak or face the consequences." David's gaze hardened, but he said nothing. The tension was unbearable as Eris realized Zavar wasn't here to negotiate. He was here to break whatever had held him back before. David took a slow step forward, his stance calm but commanding. "You don't get it, do you?" he said, locking eyes with Zavar. "It's not about power. It's about responsibility. About doing what needs to be done, no matter how hard or inconvenient it is. That's what dads do." Zavar faltered, his soldiers exchanging uncertain glances. Something in David's tone struck a chord deeper than any weapon. But Zavar wasn't ready to back down. "Words mean nothing," he hissed, raising a device that hummed with energy. "Show me why I should fear you." Before anyone could react, David's youngest child darted out of the house, clutching a stuffed bear. "Dad," the child shouted, running toward him. Zivar froze. Every instinct told him to attack, but he hesitated, an unfamiliar weight pressing on his chest. Eris gasped, realizing the truth. The power wasn't fear, it was empathy. Humanity's ability to connect, to care, to protect even in the face of overwhelming odds. In the vastness of space, where the boundaries between galaxies blur and civilizations collide, there's a universal truth whispered among the stars. Never underestimate a human dad. When Captain Eris, a seasoned interstellar diplomat, encounters an alien fleet on the brink of war with Earth, she's shocked to find the aliens paralyzed, not by fear of Earth's advanced technology, but by the stern warning of a human father. "Don't make me come over there," he said, his voice calm yet brimming with unshakable authority. To the aliens, it wasn't just a threat. It was a declaration of cosmic consequence. What kind of power could this simple human possess? As the universe seems to hold its breath, Eris realizes she must uncover the truth behind this peculiar and strangely effective human phenomenon before it spirals into an event no one can predict. But time is running out, and tensions are rising. Captain Eris leaned back in her chair, staring at the transmission logs. The words of the human father played on a loop in her mind. "Don't make me come over there." Simple, unassuming, yet it had caused the alien commander, a war-hardened veteran of the Xilnari fleet, to retreat mid-threat. The Xilnari were known for their ruthlessness, conquering worlds without hesitation. And yet, one human dad had stopped them cold. Eris needed answers. She scanned the records of the man in question. David Carson, a middle-aged engineer from Earth with no military training or political influence. He lived in a modest suburban home and had a reputation for baking excellent brownies at neighborhood barbecues. Nothing about him made sense. As she dug deeper, strange patterns emerged. Other alien factions had similar encounters with human fathers, each one resulting in sudden retreats. It wasn't coincidence. It was something deeper. Eris couldn't shake the nagging feeling that there was more to human fathers than met the eye. She arranged a meeting with Dr. Selbach, a Xilnari psychologist renowned for studying human behavior. His findings were unsettling. Humans possess an uncanny ability to influence through sheer presence, he explained, his voice cautious. Fathers, in particular, project an authority that transcends logic. Among their own species, it's a learned response. Among us, it triggers something primal. Eris replayed the scene in her mind, the alien fleet withdrawing after David's words. It wasn't just the tone of his voice or the meaning of his words. It was the unwavering certainty. But how could such a trait resonate across species? Could it be some dormant universal instinct humans unknowingly wielded?